What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another reaction on the channel, the Three Pyramids Network, with your host, the ignorant, eclectic, mad genius, man, your boy. So today we are checking out The Truth Is again. We're gonna jump into another conspiracy bag real quick. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was like a TV show. I think it was. It was like The Handmaid's Tale is what it was called, where basically women were like the servants and blah 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 blah. Blah. This is what he's gonna be talking about. The Handmaid's Tale tried to warn us. Like always, the original video will be in the link in the description below because it's the most respectful thing to do. Also hit that like, hit that subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let me know down in the comments what or do you believe what he's talking about, and do you believe that the world is going this way? Also, hit me with a super like or super hype, super hype or whatever. Helps me out a bunch of small channels, and we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, man. Let's do this.
In this world, the United States is gone. It is controlled by a religious extremist group called the Sons of Jacob. After environmental collapse and a severe population decline, they overthrew the government and established a total dictatorship. It's a system where the elites hold all the power and everyone else is reduced to a servant. While this is the plot of the TV show The Handmaid's Tale, nowadays it feels like a future we may actually see. Today, we are decoding The Handmaid's Tale to uncover what it's really telling us about our own world.
I was asleep before. That's how we let it happen. We didn't wake up. When they blamed terrorists, suspended the Constitution, didn't wake up then either. They said it would be temporary. Nothing changes instantaneously.
The Handmaid's Tale follows the story of June, who is one of the few fertile women left in a world facing a massive biological and environmental crisis. Because of her ability to conceive, she was systematically sought after and captured by a group known as the Sons of Jacob. This crisis left the vast majority of the population unable to have children, which gave this extremist group the perfect leverage they needed to seize control and dismantle the old world. The Sons of Jacob didn't just take over the government, they completely restructured society into a hierarchy of survival. They rounded up every fertile woman they can locate and forced them into the role of a handmaid. These women were essentially turned into state-owned surrogate mothers
So, wouldn't it be okay for you to be like, well, I'm infertile, like I can't have kids or something like that, just to try to get away?
specifically for the
I've never
high-ranking
seen the
elites
TV
who were
show, TV
desperate to
series.
pass on their legacy. Their ultimate goal was to repopulate
I
the
might have to
world,
watch it
but
though.
only with the offspring of those at the very top of this new social system. June was forced into this life after she was caught trying to escape what used to be the United States. She was assigned to a high-ranking member of the elite, a man named Fred, where her only legal purpose was to provide him with an heir. This meant that every month, she was forced to participate in what the system calls the ceremony. This is a mandatory fertility ritual that every handmaid is required to undergo if they're assigned person. While she was trapped in this system, June quickly realized a terrifying truth. While a successful pregnancy was never a guarantee, the consequences for failing to produce a child were absolute. This was a system built entirely on fear and total reproductive control. At first glance, this level of societal collapse sounds like an unbelievable nightmare. But when you look at the trajectory of our world today and the way certain systems are shifting, you have to ask yourself if a world like this is actually possible. When you begin to realize that The Handmaid's Tale isn't just a piece of fiction, but a calculated look at how power structures can shift during a global crisis, you start to see that we might be closer to this reality than anyone is willing to admit. The first step in any total societal shift is a crisis that people cannot solve on their own. In The Handmaid's Tale, this was the combination of environmental degradation and a catastrophic drop in fertility. We are told that the world became toxic, filled with colonies of radioactive waste, and that birth rates fell so low that the human race was literally facing extinction. When you look at our world today, the parallels are hard to ignore. We aren't seeing a sudden drop to zero, but we are seeing a steady global decline in fertility rates. Scientists point to microplastics, chemical pollutants in our food supply, and the stress of modern life as primary factors.
We encounter microplastics everywhere in the environment, our food, and
It's crazy. Yeah, well, like these little plastic containers, microplastics, your water, bottled water, microplastics. It's it's very, very interesting and also scary that we basically, well, the government allowed us to be able to consume so much microplastics, even in our in certain water sources. Like it is very scary.
Our own bodies. Scientists are still looking into exactly how microplastics affect men and women, but experts are now calling for action after plastic additives have been linked to male infertility. Dr. Pravez Kavusi, reproductive urologist at St. David's Austin Medical Center, joins us now to discuss this. Welcome, Dr. Kavusi. We appreciate your time again. So last year, scientists discovered that microplastics exposure affects sperm count. And earlier this month, experts are calling for
I know I shouldn't be saying this, but bro, just let it go. Just let it go.
action. Tell us why this
I mean, don't get me wrong. I got a bad
What we're
hairline.
actually seeing
He's got
is a significant
good
decrease
hairline, but
in
the back of his
fertility
head,
in men over decades, over about the last 50 years.
My hairline
So
is
from
terrible.
1970s until 2000, we see a steady average drop of sperm counts by about 1% a year. And then more alarming, from 2000 to now, we're seeing greater than a 2% drop a year in sperm counts. So as a population, men are getting less fertile. So we're all trying to do work to figure out why that's happening. And obviously there are some other contributing factors, sedentary lifestyles, obesity, waiting longer. But this is really investigating the effect of some external factors in these plastics. And so we see that there are two major additives that are added to plastics that are having a really adverse effect on male fertility. One is phthalates and the other is bisphenols.
In the show, the sons of Jacob didn't just try to clean up the planet. They used the panic of extinction to justify the removal of all individual rights. They framed it as a sacrifice for the greater good. While this seems like it would never happen in our world, look at how modern emergencies are handled. Whether it is a health crisis or an environmental one, the playbook is the same. Create a state of high-level fear, present a solution that requires a suppression of normal laws, and then make those temporary changes permanent. The sons of Jacob didn't take over instantly. They waited for a moment.
They tried to do that with COVID. What he just explained. They tried to do that with. They definitely dead ass tried to do that with COVID. Now they're trying to renovate it just a little bit for the little energy crisis that we're allegedly could have.
Of maximum fear to offer a new world that promised safety in exchange for total compliance. And the people surrendered instantly. One of the most chilling moments in the story is how the sons of Jacob actually seized power. It wasn't just through the power of the military force, it was through the removal of individual rights. In the series, women suddenly found their bank accounts frozen. Their Compu cards stopped working,
Error.
and in an instant, they were financially erased and became entirely dependent on the men in their lives or the state.
Attention, please. Ladies should all know that I feel really sorry about this. This isn't my decision. I don't have a choice. I have to let you go. I have to let you all go.
Wait, we're being fired?
No, not fired. No, let go.
What does that even mean?
Can't work here anymore. It's the law now.
This is perhaps the most accurate blueprint in the entire show. We are currently moving towards a world of central banking digital currencies and a cashless society. While this is marketed as a matter of convenience, The Handmaid's Tale shows us the dark side of that convenience: total traceability and total control. If the system can
That's why, like, the CBDCs that they want to implement, like, we don't need those whatsoever. Like, even with Web3, with the development of Web3 and stuff like that, and owning your own data I believe is a good thing. But also, yeah, I mean, everything's gonna be on a blockchain. So, I mean, that's where we're going anyway. But that's why so I try to spend like physical cash at least once or twice a week. So I know every Friday, I try to spend physical cash, and also like every Tuesday or Wednesday, like where like if I'm going into like a gas station or just like a regular store or whatever, 9 times out of 10 I have my card, but also I have like 20s and stuff like that I can pay with cash, just because you want to keep it circulating throughout the economy and stuff like that. Just to let the individuals know that money is still circulating. It's just not all debit and credit cards.
track every cent you spend, it could also decide where you're allowed to spend it. If you are deemed a threat to the social
I mean, also with that, we are seeing some of that now. And my bad, I know I'm stopping it a lot, but even with that, like, we're seeing a lot now with PlayStation doing the surge pricing for video games and stuff like that. And Microsoft is doing it also, but you know what I mean, like, you just got to keep an eye out on all of that.
order. Or if you simply don't fit the new Sons of Jacob ideology, your ability to participate in society can be turned off remotely. This isn't just fiction. We see versions of this in social credit systems appearing in different parts of the world today. This show tells us that once your financial independence is gone, your physical independence follows shortly after. In the show's world, there is a clear, rigid hierarchy. At the top are the commanders, the elites who design the system. Below them are the eyes, the secret police who ensure consistent surveillance. Then you have the ants, the guardians, and finally the handmaids and the Marthas. The truth about this hierarchy is that it is designed to keep everyone afraid of the person just above them and suspicious of the person just below them. This is how a small group of elites can control a massive population. If everyone is busy watching their neighbor to make sure they are pious or compliant, no one is watching the commanders. We see the same structure emerging in our corporate and political world today. A small class of technocrats and commanders make the rules, while the rest of society is divided into smaller and smaller groups that are encouraged to conflict with one another.
I know I stopped again, but that's only because we don't work together anymore whatsoever, and basically they feel like they can do whatever they please, and if we don't work together and we're only fighting each other, that's how they can continue to stay in power.
It's through social media algorithms or ideological divides. The goal is the same as it is in the show. Keep the population fragmented so they can never truly unify against the architects of the system. The commanders in the show live in luxury while preaching sacrifice to everyone else. They have access to forbidden books, music, and travel, while the rest of the world is trapped in a gray, silent reality. This is the ultimate goal of any totalitarian system, a two-tier society where the rules only apply to the bottom tier. The most terrifying line in the entire show is when June says, "I was asleep before. That's how we let it happen."
I was asleep before. That's how we let it happen. So we didn't wake up. When they blamed terrorists, suspended the Constitution, didn't wake up then either. They said it would be temporary. Nothing changes instantaneously.
She describes how the changes came slowly. First there were security measures, then there were temporary restrictions, but then they went back to their lives thinking someone else would fix it. The truth is the takeover didn't happen in one day. It was a slow process that no one truly paid attention to. By the time the handmaids realized they were in a prison, the walls had already been built around them while they were looking at their screens. The Handmaid's Tale isn't a warning about the past. It's a map of the future if we continue to prioritize safety over sovereignty. It shows us that any group claiming they want to save the world or protect the children should be looked at with extreme caution if their solution involves taking away your ability to choose, your ability to speak, and your ability to own your own life. When we decode this story, we see that the red capes and the sons of Jacobs are just symbols. The real story is about how easily a modern free society can be flipped into a nightmare when the people stop paying attention to the signals. The question is, are you going to wake up to see them? Or are you going to wait until the ceremony begins? This show reminds me so much of the movie Under the Silver Lake. In that movie, the elite were recruiting women to live with them in underground bunkers they built. Just like this show, that movie exposed so much about our world that Hollywood literally tried to erase that movie from existence. If you want to know why they tried to delete that movie,
All right. Yeah, man. Let me know what you think about what everything that he said, and if you agree and or disagree with some of the stuff that I said in the reaction. Love each and every last one of y'all, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace. Oh yeah, we got a couple more videos coming. Yeah, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. Oh, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and if you have a extra super like for a poor individual, it would be duly appreciated. Love y'all, man. Peace.